Everybody loves a nice time lapse, and that's why in this video I'm going to show you how to make one. This episode is inspired by YouTube user Benji. Thank you very much for this comment. You solved my weekly problem of having to wonder about what to do for the Wednesday episode. Oh, and if you saw that teaser, which I released sometime earlier this week, you will of course now realize this is what I'm going to talk about. It is the 6th of March, Wednesday. You are watching 0612 TV. This is 0612 TV.
Welcome aboard.
Hello once again and welcome to this episode on time lapses. First of all, what is a time lapse? Well, this is a time lapse. The idea is you capture something that takes a long time to happen and you speed it all up. That's essentially what it means by time lapse. It is just something that displays the lapse of time. Now, that's not difficult, so we move on. How do I capture a time lapse? Now, you have two options. First, if you have a camera that supports it, take photos at intervals. So here's how it works. You set up your camera for interval shooting, and every, a certain period of time, your camera will wake up and take a photo. I believe my camera actually provides this functionality at 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 5 minutes. So whatever interval you choose, say 30 seconds, every 30 seconds it's going to take a photo. Now, if unfortunately your camera does not support this feature, what you can do is you can actually take a video. Just set up your camera and go ahead and shoot a video of the scene. We can of course speed that up in post as well. Which method should you use? Well, let's take a look at some pros and cons. Now, interval shooting is definitely the better option, and here's why. First, you're only capturing what you intend to use. This means of course that you won't waste memory, and not considering battery usage, it of course means that you can go for a longer time. And of course, when you're shooting at an interval, you are actually taking full resolution images. So if you have a 12 megapixel sensor, you will take your 4000 by 3000 picture. And that is huge. That is, in video terms, 4K, which is enough pixels to fill up a cinema projector. Of course, the downside of interval shooting is that your equipment must support it. Most newer cameras support this natively. Some may require actual connection to computer software, and of course the capture is triggered by the software. But if you're working with an older camera or a low-end camera like a compact, you may not have this option. I can't really help you with that. You're gonna have to consult your user manual. So of course our alternative is to set up the camera and have it shoot video. The obvious downside is that you are recording a video, so you're gonna run out of memory really quickly. In other words, you will have less capture time. Also, your resolution is limited to whatever your camera can capture, most of the time 1080p, unless you're using a high-end camera. The obvious advantage to this is that, well, every camera should have video capture capability. So okay, now that we have our options covered, let's go ahead and set up and shoot the images. What you're seeing here is my camera just pointing at the sky and taking 30-second interval shots. I left it there. It was taking photos for like 3 hours. I came out of it with maybe almost 400 pictures, and of course the result is the little clip that you saw at the start of the video. The question of course is how we're gonna put all of this together. To do this, we're gonna use a program called VirtualDub. This program is freeware, in fact I believe open source. It has a very simple interface, so yeah, go ahead and download and install the program. Now go over to your folder with all the pictures that you've taken. To make sure that all the pictures you've taken are in the same folder. This is not going to work if the pictures are in separate folders, because of course what VirtualDub does is it searches the entire folder for pictures, and of course it tries to string them together in a video form. If you actually went with the alternative option of taking a video instead, just hang in there, I'll come to you in a second. Once you have all your interval images in the same folder, what you're going to want to do is you're going to drag and drop the first picture into the VirtualDub window. Notice that VirtualDub didn't just open one picture. In fact, if you scrub along the timeline at the bottom, you're going to realize that VirtualDub has imported all the pictures in a folder, because of course they recognize it to be a series of images. Now, if you shot a video instead, simply do the same, just drag and drop the video into VirtualDub. Now, in order for our composition to work as a video, we're going to have to give it a frame rate. This of course refers to how many frames per second is going to be shown on screen. Click on video, select frame rate. Click on change frame rate to and enter your new frame rate. If you're not sure what frame rate to choose, well, you can go for 24, you can go for 30. Of course, the higher the number, the faster the series of images are going to just burn through. So for example, if you set it to 60, you're going to get an extremely smooth animation, but it's going to finish really quick, because of course it's playing back 60 frames per second. I set mine to 24, just so it lasts a little bit longer. Of course, don't set the number too low as well. You don't want to go below 24, otherwise the video will start becoming jerky, and you don't want that to happen. Now, if you shot a video, you don't want to do change frame rate. Instead, you want to go to the bottom of the same window, and you're going to click on the decimate by box. So here's what this means. If you put in 10 in the box, what it means is I'm going to keep every 10th frame and discard everything else. If you say 30, it's going to keep every 30th frame. So essentially, this is the point where you decide on what interval you want, and to help you in your decision, you might want to refer up to the top of the same box. The radio button that says no change is supposed to tell you what is the current frame rate of the video. So if you shot your video at 30 frames a second, or 29.97, basically every 30th frame represents 1 second. So if you want your time lapse to come out at a 1 second interval per frame, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down to decimate by and set it to 30. If you're using the video method, you're also going to have to do this extra step. Multiply your decimate by value to the actual frame rate of the original video. Select change frame rate to and enter the result of the multiplication into that box. Of course, these values will be different if you shot at 24 frames per second. So if it says 24 up there and you put 48 below, that means basically every frame you keep is at a 2-second interval. It's a little bit of math. If you are not very clear what's going on, please do ask me in the comment section below. I'll try to answer you. If you're in a pinch, just tell me what frame rate you shot your video at, what interval you want the frames to be, and I'll do the calculation for you. That's fine too. So anyway, once you're done with that, click OK. Now, if you took images at an interval and you don't want 4K video, which chances are you don't because it's huge, here's what you can do. You can actually reduce the size. Here's how you do it. Go to Video, Filters, then click Add. Scroll down in the list and select Resize. You can then resize the video either as a percentage or by entering the actual dimensions that you want. Additionally, if your camera shoots pictures at a 4:3 aspect ratio, what you can do is you can actually go to the bottom, you can select Crop, set the aspect ratio to 16:9, and it will crop it to a widescreen resolution, if that is what you prefer. Go ahead and fill in all the settings and then click OK on everything, and that should basically prepare your time-lapse video for rendering. Go to Video, Compression. Choose a codec that, compresses the video, because of course if you don't make this choice, what's going to happen is your video is going to be saved as an uncompressed video. It's going to take up a whole lot of space, which of course you don't want. This is kind of up to you because I don't know what codecs are on your computer, but if you frequently edit video, just select the codec that you always use. It's probably going to turn out okay. Once you're done with that, go to File, Save as AVI. Title your file, then click Save. This is going to render out the entire sequence with the resize feature if you've chosen it, and it's going to produce a video that is your final completed time-lapse. And there you have it. That's it. That's how to make a time-lapse video. I hope I've been a help. If you have any comments, queries or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you've created any time lapses you want to share, feel free to post it as a video response to this video. I will love to see them. But as always, I appreciate every like, favorite and subscription you give me. And don't forget to check out the official Twitter account for this YouTube channel at twitter.com/0612TV. Until next time, you're watching 0612TV.